Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Jeff, and today I'm going to make a couple of sushi trays out of some 5/4-inch maple. These are actually cutoffs from a previous project. There'll be a little bit of waste, but I'm going to go ahead and cut these down. I'll rip them down to 7 inches wide by 12 inches long, and then I will add some walnut feet to the bottom of them. I like the contrast of the walnut and the maple. So here we go. And now I'm going to rip down the maple to 7 inches wide. And then I'll trim the two boards to 12 inches in length. Here I'm running a board of walnut through my drum sander to remove the mill marks. This walnut will end up being the little feet on the sushi tray. Next, I sand the walnut board with 100 grit, 150 grit, and 220 grit sandpaper. Now I will rip the walnut down to 1.5 inches wide. And then I'll take it over to the chop saw and cut it to length. I cut the walnut to the same width as the sushi tray. And now it's time to sand the maple pieces with 100 grit, 150 grit, and 220 grit sandpaper. I do this before I do the glue up of the feet. And now it's time to raise the grain on all the parts of the sushi board. I'm going to wet this rag, and then I'm just going to wipe down everything with a wet rag. This raises the fiber of the wood, makes it actually rough. Feels like I didn't even sand it. I sanded it to 220. And after I do this, I'll let it dry, and then I'll come back and hit it with 220 lightly to take down that roughness. And then it'll be ready to dado it and glue it up. Here I'm cutting the dados. I'm not a real big fan of dadoing. They take a long time as far as getting the shims right, to get it to the right size. And to be honest, I'm a little spooked about the dado blade. It makes me extra careful. I put a piece of tape on the back edge to help against blowout. Okay, it's time for gluing up. I use Titebond 3 glue because it's waterproof and food safe. It's got a little bit longer work time than Titebond 1 or 2. Just get a decent amount of glue in here. Put it on the edges. Then insert the walnut. Make sure it's nice and flush on the ends. Then I use little pieces of cardboard so that the clamp doesn't mar the wood. Just like that. I use a wet rag to wipe off any excess glue. I let these sit overnight to dry, and now I'm going to take off the clamps, and then I'll take them home. May have to do a little bit of sanding on it before I take them home. And when I take them home, I'll do the oil and the finishing on it. I don't have the room in my shop to do any finishing work. That's a sushi tray, or sushi board, whatever you want to call it. And now comes the fun part, the finish on the sushi trays. I apply Howard cutting board oil, put on a liberal amount. You can buy this at the retail store. I think Ace Hardware has it, maybe Lowe's, maybe Home Depot, I'm not sure. I buy it by the gallon directly from Howard. Look at how that wood comes alive when you oil it. Beautiful. Check out the walnut here in a minute. Look at that walnut, gorgeous. I rubbed this in real good, and then I'll let it sit overnight to dry. And then in the morning, I'll buff it off with a nice soft terry cloth rag. And I do 2 coats of the Howard cutting board oil, and then I do 2 coats of the Butcher Block conditioner. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It helps me to grow my channel. And have a great day.